Right now at 5, a fatal crash in Newton County, Missouri claims the life of a Joplin man.
Plus, we have an alert day for us today for a wind advisory. We're going to take a look at what that's going to do for us, the winds, and our temperatures coming up.
Also, Pittsburgh, Kansas authorities release information about a fire that happened last week.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is 5 a.m. I'm Amber Jenkins.
I'm Chris Warner. So it's a little bit warmer this morning than it was yesterday.
Yes, much warmer.
It's a lot warmer. Yeah, no, it's about 30 some odd degrees warmer than what it was yesterday. But the winds are also about 30 some odd miles an hour, stronger than what they were yesterday as well. That's why we do have an alert day for us today for a wind advisory that kicks in officially at 6 o'clock this morning. We could see gusts 40, 50 miles an hour, potentially higher, as we've been mentioning. 7th in range line looking pretty good in Joplin so far. Same with 36th in range line from the MoDOT camera there. You can see both of them shaking a bit in the breeze. So here's a look at that wind advisory. Nearly all of us under this advisory, and that says until 6 p.m., but that's not right. That didn't update. It's until midnight tonight, not until 6 p.m. Friday, but I'll get that updated for you. So here's a look at what those winds are going to do. As you see, as we push into this afternoon, they really ramp up out of the south, and that's where we could see that 50 to 60 mile an hour range for some of us, and that's what could possibly lead to some small branches being down, some possible power outages, so just be aware of that. And as you see, as we head through tonight and into tomorrow morning, they do not let up. This map, even though the numbers really didn't change, I was changing the times. So this is a trash can gone forever kind of day. Make sure it is secured. Right now in Joplin, we're sitting at 43, feels like 33, with a south breeze at 28, already gusting to 40 miles an hour out there. Across the region, again, a bit milder than where we were yesterday. 38 Iola, 40 Parsons, 41 Chetopa, 43 Miami, 42 Neosho and Carthage, and 39 in Nevada. If you are traveling today for your morning drive, we've got a yellow light simply because of the wind. We should be mostly clear through the morning and hovering in the 40s, but with that wind, it's going to be east-west highways are going to be most impacted as the wind is out of the south, and same situation for the drive home. And with winds as high as they could be, even smaller vehicles could get knocked around by this, so just make sure you got a good grip on the wheel as you're driving today. Otherwise, we're looking good from, weather-wise. It's just the wind. We're looking for a high almost to 60 degrees today. We'll have clouds increasing as we head into the afternoon and into the evening hours, leaving us with some mostly cloudy skies tonight. But thanks to the south breeze, we don't really drop off a lot. We're only down to 50 degrees tonight. And on that 7-day forecast, take a look. Tomorrow, 61, 53 Friday. Still holding on to maybe some showers on Saturday, but they should be out of here before the celebrations. 63 for New Year's Day, the first day of 2023. Maybe some thunderstorms on Monday, 62, and 51 by next Tuesday. So we are going to hold on to the mild weather for a while across the area. Unfortunately, we're well above average, and so we'll keep an eye on what that means for us as we head into the winter. And it can't last, but we'll enjoy it while we've got it.
I know that's right. I have a little chihuahua, and I let him out today, and the wind basically almost took him away.
I don't doubt it. This is not a chihuahua kind of day out there that you may not see him again.
Chihuahuas beware. Thank you, Chris. Jasper County authorities are looking for information on a hit-and-run crash involving a child. It happened Monday morning on County Lane 197, a mile east of Carterville, Missouri. Investigators say the black car was driving north on the wrong side of the road and hit a 10-year-old boy from Joplin. The boy suffered minor injuries. Authorities want to hear from anyone who might have information. A Joplin man has died and 5 more people are injured from a Christmas Day car crash. The car crash happened near Coyote and Apricot Road in Newton County. Authorities say the driver, Samuel Mitchell, hit a concrete culvert. Mitchell died at the hospital. 3 adults in the car suffered minor to serious injuries. 2 children suffered serious injuries. Authorities say no one was wearing seatbelts. A report from the Missouri State Highway Patrol shows the total number of crashes they worked during the Christmas holiday were up compared to last year. The report looks at crashes from Friday evening to Monday night. This year, 3 people died in traffic crashes. The Highway Patrol worked a total of 306 crashes. The number is up compared to last year's 227 crashes. You can find a full breakdown of the report with the KOAM News Now app. Authorities respond to house fires in multiple areas of the 4 states in this past week. On Tuesday, fire crews battled an evening fire in the Westmoreland neighborhood of Joplin. The fire began around 5 p.m. at 2604 East 11th Street, and authorities said had to close down Florida Avenue from 14th to 8th Street. 11th Street has since been reopened. No one was hurt in the fire. In Miami, Oklahoma, authorities search for a cause of a house fire that has now taken the life of a northeast Oklahoma man days later. The fire happened around 8 p.m. on Friday at 322 B Street Southwest. Fire crews noticed heavy smoke and fire from the bedroom window where they brought out a 56-year-old man. He died from his injuries on Monday. And in Kansas, Pittsburgh officials released information on Tuesday about last week's house fire on 4th Street. The fire happened on Friday shortly after 6 a.m. Authorities reported flames rising from the roof of the 2-story house. The fire appeared to be coming from the attic. The fire was under control within about a half hour. No one was hurt. There is no word yet on the cause of the fire. The minimum wage in Missouri is about to climb. Employers will have to pay at least $12 an hour effective January 1st. However, the change will not apply to retail and service business whose gross annual sales are less than $500,000. Also, the law does not apply to public employers. Employers are required to pay tip employees at least 50% of the minimum wage plus any amount necessary to bring the employee's total compensation to a minimum of $12 an hour. Missouri's minimum wage change is the result of a statewide vote in 2018, increasing the minimum wage 85 cents per hour each year through 2023. Drivers in Knoll, Missouri can expect lane reductions and traffic delays beginning next Tuesday. Crews will begin work on the stabilize the stream bank and make sidewalks improvements along Elk River on Route 59 between the Elk River Bridge and Butler Creek Bridge. Only one lane will be open on Route 59 at all times. There will be no signed detours, but to find a full list of traffic impacts, head on over to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. That's a look at today's top morning stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, we'll have a sneak peek at the Lady Gorillas as they gear up to take on the Talbot College Blue Rays on Thursday. Plus, the new year is here in 4 days. People are starting to set resolutions. If you're looking to get into shape, well, we got some tips for you. And why emergency rooms in children's hospitals are seeing more visits related to mental health. You're watching the KOAM Morning News, more real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Well, the Pittsburgh State Gorillas were back on the floor yesterday afternoon after 10 days off for the Christmas break. Pitt State is 8-3 overall and 4-2 in conference play. Gorillas' offense has been a consistent strength through those first 11 games. They're averaging 77 points per game, but to win the big games, Pitt State is focusing more on defense.
I think I've said this from the get-go, is just defense was going to be kind of our mantra. That was going to be what our Achilles heel was probably going to be, because we thought we could score. We've just got to find a way to, when we play the best teams, to shave 6 or 7 points or control some possessions. And so, we're just right on that teetering point of can we just continue to get better and beat some of the top teams in the league.
Pitt State hosts Tabor College in a non-conference matchup on Thursday before returning to MIAA play early next week. On the men's side, the Gorillas have had some ups and downs this season. They're 2-4 in conference play, but 2 of those losses were by 2 or less points. Here's head coach Jeff Boschee on some of the team's early struggles.
We gotta find a way to win. Competing for 40 minutes, and in games that we've lost, we've been up double figures in the first half, and we just, for whatever reason, fall apart offensively, and I think that affects us defensively. And I think we're averaging about 65, 66 points a game. And my 8 years of coaching, I've never had a team that's really struggled to score, and we're having that. And we've shown glimpses of where we can really do it, and we've just got to find a way to get there mentally to continue to do that the whole time.
The Carthage Tigers were back in action yesterday, playing in the U.S. Bank Holiday Tournament in Rolla. Carthage meets the 13th-ranked Truman Patriots in the first round. The Tigers take the Patriots down to the wire. but Truman hangs on to win 56-52. Justin Ray scores a team-high 15 points with 3 threes. Max Templeman adds 13. Oklahoma State Cowboys are making their 17th straight bowl appearance after finishing the season with a 7-5 record. OSU is playing Wisconsin in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl in Phoenix, Arizona. After a big interception, Stephon Johnson scores an 84-yard touchdown. Oklahoma State leads 7-3 in the second quarter. However, Wisconsin pulls the win away from Oklahoma State, winning the game 24-17. Well, still to come, how a Ukrainian artist is using lights to battle the darkness of war. Now we got another check of your windy forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:16 on this Wednesday. Yes, it is Wednesday. Wednesday morning. All right, so we start today with an alert day. We have a wind advisory that kicks in officially at 6 o'clock. We could see wind gusts 40, 50 miles an hour, possibly higher. So here's a look at that wind advisory for nearly all of us through midnight tonight. I got that fixed for you. I told you I would. And it is because of this. As we head through the day, wind gusts are only going to continue to increase out of the south. So it does two things. One, it gets very windy, potentially to the point with these upwards of almost 60-mile-an-hour gusts that could cause power outages, maybe bring down some small tree limbs. It also ushers in an extended period of warmer weather, but these winds do not die off as we head into the overnight hours. It won't be until tomorrow afternoon that they start to calm down for us. So today is a trash can gone forever kind of day. Make sure it is secured, unless you just don't like your trash can. If you're wanting a new one, then I guess in this case, just put it out there and let it blow away. We're 43 and Joplin feels like 33 with a south breeze at 28, already gusting to 40 miles an hour this morning. Across the area, we've got a much milder start for us today than what we saw yesterday. 38 Iola, 40 Parsons, 41 Chitopa, 43 Miami, 42 Neosho, Carthage, 41 in Lamar, so not bad. MoDOT Cameron, 36 in Rangeline. You can see it's shaking in the breeze there. And for your morning drive, we're looking good weather-wise in terms of the skies. Clear skies near 40, but we have the yellow light because of that wind. And we hold on to the yellow light for the drive home as we see increasing clouds, temperatures in the 50s. But with these kinds of gusts, even smaller cars could be susceptible to being knocked around. So if you're on east-west highways, just make sure that you have a good grip on the wheel. 57 for a high today. Again, we start mostly clear. Clouds will increase through the afternoon and evening hours, and we'll wrap up tonight under mostly cloudy skies. We hit an early low of 50 degrees, and temperatures once again will start to rise as we head into tomorrow morning. Now let's take a look at that 7-day forecast, shall we? Talk about what kind of rising we're doing. 61 tomorrow, 53 Friday, maybe a stray shower or two on Saturday. 55. They should be out of here before the New Year's Eve celebrations. First day of 2023 is 63 degrees. 62 Monday, maybe some showers and thunderstorms possible. 51 by Tuesday, but this warming trend holds on. Yeah, okay, these temperatures here Wednesday, Thursday next week are a lot closer to normal, but as you can see, we're locked into a pretty decently mild pattern over the next several days. So something we absolutely need because we need to thaw, but we're going to be well above average for a little while here in the 4 states. Well, the new year is coming up, and that means people are making New Year's resolutions. One of the top New Year's resolutions is getting into a healthy lifestyle. KOAM's Carrie Worthen spoke with a local gym member about what they think it takes to keep your health goals.
Everybody's enthused and they use the new year as that date to start new habits.
Whether getting a gym membership or starting a diet, many people want to start the new year fresh, but very few people actually keep their New Year's resolutions. But why?
Try to make too big of a change or too big of a commitment. That's hard to not really concentrate on the smaller steps. And, making the commitment to the day-by-day changes or the day-by-day commitments that add up to that long-term change.
24 Elite Gym General Manager Trey Frisbee says if you are in the gym, don't be afraid to ask for help.
All of the members have probably started where you've been before. So even asking around or asking somebody how to use a machine, they all know. Nobody's gonna make fun of you for not knowing how to do a bicep curl or how to turn on the treadmill or anything like that. Everyone's here to help each other.
He also says finding an accountability partner, whether it be a spouse, friend, or someone you can call, really helps.
Yeah, don't expect everything to come all at once. It takes time and just being steady at it. And, as you get do it more and more, you'll get a little stronger and a little stronger and a little better in shape.
First is just, making the commitment to, the person you see in the mirror every day and knowing that you got to show up to that person.
So whether it's eating right or joining the gym, the goal is to take one step at a time. In Joplin, Carrie Worthen, KOAM News.
A CBS News poll found the percentage of Americans making New Year's resolutions dropped in 2020 and in 2021. And that brings us to our question for you this morning. What's your New Year's resolution? Is it losing weight, maybe finishing your education, paying off some debts, helping those in need, traveling, spending time with family? We've got a lot of options, and if none of those fit, we also have another option for something else. Make sure you vote through KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. You can also do so in our app and, of course, take part in the discussion on our Facebook page. Maybe share what your resolution is. We will be back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, public health experts fear a surge in respiratory viruses following the holiday gatherings and New Year's Eve celebrations. They're concerned about the three viruses in particular: flu, COVID, and respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV. Holiday gatherings provide extra opportunities for these illnesses to spread, and the cases did surge after Thanksgiving. Another factor is the wave of the flight cancellation sweeping across the country. Large amounts of people are stuck in crowded, stressful settings at airports, which is a recipe for a viral spread. The CDC says seasonal flu activity remains high in the U.S., but continues to decline in most parts of the country. COVID-19 increases appear to be relatively mild. Emergency rooms in children's hospitals are seeing more visits and revisits related to mental health. A study published Tuesday in the journal JAMA Pediatrics found starting by 2015, mental health visits to pediatric emergency departments increased 8% every year for 5 years. About 13% of those patients revisit the hospital within 6 months. They say the number of mental health visits can lead to a revisit remain by stable among patients of all ages, but pediatric mental health revisits increase 6.3% annually. Researchers called the analysis concerning. The study used from data more than 200,000 patients from 38 children's hospitals in the U.S. A new study suggests adding climate impact information to menus may encourage people to eat more climate-friendly foods. The medical journal of JAMA published the study Tuesday. More than 5,000 adults participated in randomized clinical trials where researchers asked them to pick an item from one of the three menus. Two of the menus had high climate impact labels. Researchers found people were more likely to opt for a more sustainable meal. They say red warning labels were most effective. A new study shows that our immune systems can be to blame for the extra pounds as we age. Researchers from a university in Sweden conducting a study on why human lymphonodes often accumulates fats and lose function with age. A study of 200 lymph showed that people aged lymph tend to disappear and replace with fat tissue. Fat later consumes an entire lymph node, making it unable to work. Part of the body's immune systems and help it fight infections. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Now, we have an alert day for us today with a wind advisory in effect. If you look, you can kind of see our camera at 7th and Rangeline shaking a bit. And you can definitely see the MoDOT camera at 36th and Rangeline rocking in the wind. We'll break down our full forecast, how windy it's going to get, and the warm-up coming up.
Right now at 5:30, a fatal crash in Newton County, Missouri claims the life of a Joplin man.
Winds already gusting this morning, shaking our cameras in Joplin. We'll tell you how windy it's going to get and how warm it's going to get coming up.
Also, Pittsburgh, Kansas authorities released information about a fire that happened last week.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is 5:29. I'm Amber Jenkins.
I'm Chris Warner. So it is breezy to start our day. It will only get windier, but on the bright side, it's a lot warmer. We're talking like 30 degrees warmer now than what we were yesterday morning. Remember, yesterday it was like 10 degrees outside.
Yes, I remember.
It's almost 40 degrees now. So take a look. We do have an alert day for today because we have a wind advisory that officially kicks in here in about 30 minutes and 20 seconds, and it'll run through midnight tonight. We can see gusts 40 to 50 miles an hour. Some of us could see those gusts push upwards of 60 miles an hour. So here's a visual look at that wind advisory across the region through midnight. Which is nearly every county in our area, and here's why. We're going to see those wind gusts really ramping up as we go through today. Some of us, again, could see wind gusts pushing upwards of 60 miles an hour, so do be aware of that. Now, it's a south breeze, so with that said, east-west roadways are going to be the most susceptible to this, so even if you're driving a smaller car with 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, a smaller car could easily get pushed around, and these winds won't let up until tomorrow, so be aware. Also, make sure your trash can is secured because it is going to be gone forever otherwise. In Joplin right now, it's 43, feels like 33, south breeze at 28. Gusting to 40 already this morning, so that's loads of fun out there, but at least it's milder. 38 Iola, 37 Independence, 40 in Neodesha, 43 in Miami, 43 Neosho, and 39 in Nevada, so a good start for us today despite the wind. MoDOT camera. 36 in Rangeline, looking pretty good. Got a yellow light for your morning drive. We're having mostly clear skies in the 40s, but that wind is the issue, and the same situation for your drive home. A yellow light because of the wind. We'll also see increasing cloud cover, temperatures in the 50s as we head for a high of almost 60 degrees. Wow. Yeah, that is something, considering that our high yesterday made it to about 40. We're going to be about 20 degrees warmer today, and I don't hear anybody complaining. Anybody complaining?
Nope.
Okay, I'm hearing a lot of nopes, so that's good. Clouds will increase as the day goes on, and will be mostly cloudy as we head into tonight. 50 for an overnight low early, and just like last night, temperatures will begin to rise towards sunrise. Let's take a quick look at that 7-day. Up to 61 tomorrow, 53 by Friday. Maybe some showers on New Year's Eve day, 55. They should be gone by the time to celebrate. 63 for the first day of the new year, 62 Monday, maybe some storms, and 51 next Tuesday, partly cloudy skies. So we're going to settle into this above average pattern for the next several days. Give us a chance to thaw out because we know we're not done with winter yet.
Not yet.
It's got something else it's probably going to throw at us before too much longer, so enjoy this while it's here.
Thank you, Chris. Jasper County authorities are looking for information on a hit-and-run crash involving a child. It happened Monday morning on the County Lane 97, a mile east of Carterville, Missouri. Investigators say the black car was driving on the north side of the road on the wrong side of the road, and it hit a 10-year-old boy from Joplin. The boy suffered minor injuries. Authorities want to hear from anyone who might have information. A Joplin man has died and 5 more people are injured from a Christmas Day car crash. The crash happened near Coyote and Apricot Road in Newton County. Authorities say the driver, Samuel Mitchell, hit a concrete culvert. Mitchell died at the hospital. 3 adults in the car suffered minor to serious injuries. 2 children suffered serious injuries. Authorities say no one was wearing seatbelts. A report from the Missouri State Highway Patrol shows the total number of crashes they worked during the Christmas holiday were up compared to last year. The report looks at the crashes from Friday evening to Monday night. This year, 3 people died in traffic crashes. The Highway Patrol worked a total of 306 crashes. That number is up compared to last year's 227 crashes. You can find the full breakdown of the report with the KOAM News Now app. Authorities responded to multiple house fires in the Ford States area this past week. On Tuesday, fire crews battled an evening fire in the Westmoreland neighborhood of Joplin. The fire began around 5 p.m. at 2604 East 11th Street, and authorities had to close down Florida Avenue from 14th to 8th Street. 11th Street has now been reopened. No one was hurt in the fire. In Miami, Oklahoma, authorities search for the cause of a house fire that has now taken the life of a northeast Oklahoma man days later. The house fire started around 8 p.m. on Friday at 322 B Street Southwest. Fire crews noticed heavy smoke and fire from the bedroom window where they brought out a 56-year-old man. He died from his injuries on Monday. And in Kansas, Pittsburgh officials released information on Tuesday about last week's house fire on Forest Street. The fire happened Friday shortly after 6 a.m. Authorities reported flames rising from the roof of the two-story house. The fire appeared to be in the attic. The fire was under control within about half an hour. No one was hurt. There was no word yet on the cause of the fire. Drivers in Knoll, Missouri can expect lane reductions and traffic delays beginning next Tuesday. Crews will begin work to stabilize the stream bank and make sidewalk improvements along Elk River and Route 59 between Elk River Bridge and Butler Creek Bridge. Only one lane, Route 59, will be open at all times. There will be no signed detours, but to find a full list of traffic impacts ahead, head on over to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. The approach of the new year means people are making New Year's resolutions. One of the most common resolutions is getting healthy. Whether getting a gym membership or starting a diet, many people want to start the new year fresh, but very few people actually keep their New Year's resolutions. According to the INC.com, among the 41% of Americans who make New Year's resolutions, only 9% are successful in keeping them.
That brings us to our question for you this morning. What is your New Year's resolution? We got a lot of options for you. It includes losing weight, finishing your education, paying off debts, helping those in need, traveling, spending time with family, maybe something else. So far, 33% of you say you're going to finish your education. Another 33% of you say you're going to pay off debts. And another 33% of you say you're going to do something else. Make sure you vote through our website, through our app, and of course take part in discussion on our Facebook page. Share what your resolution is.
Those are some good goals.
Definitely some good goals. Now the next question becomes, can you actually keep those resolutions? That's the hard part. You can make them all day. It's a matter of keeping them that makes the difference.
Exactly. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. A mother who unexpectedly had her babies 10 weeks early reunites with the EMS workers who helped deliver her babies.
Plus, travelers in Germany witness a rather wild sight at a train station. We'll have the latest.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Topping World Watch. A Russian sausage magnate turned lawmaker died Saturday in India. Police believe it was a suicide, saying he fell from his hotel room. But this is the latest in a string of deaths of Russian executives since Kremlin's war in Ukraine began. Claire Sebastian has more.
Well, there are plenty of questions around the circumstances of this death. Pavel Antov was a regional Russian lawmaker and a member of Russia's ruling party, United Russia, which is closely aligned to President Vladimir Putin. According to Indian police, he was traveling in Odisha state in the northeast of the country when he died by suspected suicide on Saturday, falling from his third-floor hotel room window. Well, Antov's death happened just 2 days after a friend he was traveling with, Vladimir Budanov, also died, police say, from a heart attack. Antov, who was 65, made his fortune manufacturing sausages in his native Vladimir region, just east of the Moscow region. In 2018, he was listed number 1 on the Forbes list of the top 100 wealthiest Russian civil servants. His net worth estimated at over $140 million. In June this year, he wrote a post on Russia's Facebook equivalent, Vkontakte, apologizing for a, quote, unfortunate misunderstanding with his WhatsApp account, saying he categorically disagreed with a status update on the special military operation in Ukraine, blaming a technical mistake and affirming that he was, quote, a supporter of the president, a patriot of my country, and sincerely share the goals of the special military operation. Well, CNN has not seen the original WhatsApp status, which has been deleted. Meanwhile, the results of Pavel Antov's post-mortem are not known yet, and Russia's consul general in Calcutta told Russian state media Monday they don't suspect foul play. Claire Sebastian, CNN, London.
Leader Alexei Navalny says he is being injected with the unknown drug in prison. Navalny made his comment in a series of tweets on Monday. The prominent critic of Russian President Vladimir Putin says he suffered from his spine problems, which caused him a lot of pain. He says the pain is exacerbated by the prison conditions. Navalny claims he asked about the injection he was getting. He said he was told it was vitamins, but he thinks otherwise, adding that the injections aren't working. Navalny is currently being held at a higher security prison in Minove in the Vladimir region. Russian tourism takes a hit following the invasion of Ukraine. Figures showing a 90% decrease in organized tourism towards 190,000 people visiting Russia in 2022 compared to 290,000 in 2021. The change credit for foreigners' negative view of countries and Russia's hard to obtain visa. Russia might see a new wave of people from countries like Iran rather than those from Europe, since Iranian tourist groups will not need a visa to visit in 2023, based on an agreement between the two countries. The U.S. State Department advised against visiting Russia due to, quote, the unprovoked and unjustified invasion of Ukraine by Russian military forces and the embassy's limited ability to assist U.S. citizens in Russia, COVID-related restrictions, and terrorism, amongst many other reasons. More than 100 migrants rescued off the coast of Libya in the Mediterranean Sea. European charity SOS Mediterranee using their Ocean Viking vessel to rescue the migrants. 30 of them who were lone miners and 23 were women. They were trying to cross the rubber boat. Italian authorities say this is a 40,000 increase from last year in migrants trying to come by sea. 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and an ostrich at a Munich train station. Travelers in Germany witnessed a wild sight. When they spotted a giant bird roaming around the platform, the ostrich doesn't appear to be accompanying anyone, but also is not causing any trouble. No word on whether it made it to its destination or not. As the fighting in Ukraine raged over the holidays, one artist was inspired to use light to battle the darkness of war. Haley Altz reports from London.
Months of fighting, repeated blackouts, and the shorter days of winter have meant more darkness than ever in Ukrainian homes. So one artist decided to bring his own brand of brightness to Kyiv for the holidays. Jerry Hofstetter is known for projecting massive pictures onto mountains and monuments around the world. For Christmas this year, he went into Ukraine and, using his own generator, projected huge images of hope on buildings around the city, of the colors of the Ukrainian flag, Christmas decorations, and peace doves. This woman was driving by when she saw one of Hofstetter's installations and pulled over to take it in. I really like it, she says. It's just what you need to cheer people up. And for families whose holidays have been dominated by the horrors of war, the colorful displays were something fun to see together. It's cool, we like it, these parents say. Their daughter agrees. It's very beautiful. It's been almost a year since Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and the fight for victory has become a part of everyday life. But for a short time this Christmas, light was brighter than the darkness of war. Haley Ott, CBS News, London.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said that as of last night, about 9 million Ukrainians remain without electricity. That's a look.
Hey, so take a look. We've got our camera at 7th and Range Line back up and running, and we've been watching it shake a bit in this wind. And the same situation with the MODOK camera at 36th and Range Line. Now, they've got it zoomed in a bit, so it's easier to see it shaking in this wind. And that's why we have an alert day for today, because we have a wind advisory kicking in here in about 15 minutes for gusts of 40 to 50 miles an hour, potentially pushing 60. Here's a graphical representation of said wind advisory, which runs until midnight tonight for all of the counties highlighted in brown. And that's because, again, we'll just see these extremely strong wind gusts out of the south blowing through today. As you can see by this afternoon, that's when they could start pushing that 50 to 60 mile an hour range, which could lead to small branches being down, could lead to power outages. And if you're driving any vehicle on an east-west road, you're going to be susceptible to these wind gusts, which also means your trash can is going to be gone forever if you do not have it in a safe place. Right now in Joplin, we're at 43, feeling like 33 with the south breeze at 28. Winds are already gusting to 40 out there, and they will continue to increase. But the good news is, I guess, so will the temperatures. 38 Iola, 40 Neodesha Parsons, 41 Chitopa, 43 Miami, 41 Lamar, and 42 in Carthage. MODOK camera, again, 36 in Range Line. Traffic's looking good. We do have a yellow light for your morning drive because of the wind. Otherwise, we're mostly clear in the 40s. And a yellow light again this afternoon because of the wind. Otherwise, clouds increasing and in the 50s. We're heading for a high of 57 degrees today, if you can believe that. And as mentioned, we'll start mostly clear, and then clouds will increase as we head into the afternoon. We'll be mostly cloudy as we go through tonight. We'll hit an early low of 50, and just like last night, temperatures will begin to rise through the overnight hours, and we are going to get pretty darn mild in the next few days. Up to 61 tomorrow, 53 on Friday. Some showers on New Year's Eve day, but they should be gone before the celebrations begin, 55. New Year's Day itself, 63 degrees and partly cloudy, 62 next Monday, maybe some thunderstorms across the area, and then down to 51 by next Tuesday. And then take a look at the extended. Yeah, these temperatures are cooler. They're closer to normal, but as you can see, we hold on to mild weather across the area, so get out there and enjoy it. We're back with more right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Jasper County authorities are looking for information on a hit-and-run crash involving a child. It happened Monday morning on County Lane 197, a mile east of Carterville, Missouri. Investigators say a black car was driving north on the wrong side of the road and hit a 10-year-old boy from Joplin. The boy suffered minor injuries. Authorities want to hear from anyone who might have information. Authorities responded to multiple house fires in the 4 state areas in this past week. On Tuesday, fire crews battled an evening fire in the Eastmoreland neighborhood of Joplin. The fire began around 5 p.m. at 2604 East 11th Street, and authorities had to close down Florida Avenue from 11th to 8th Street. 11th Street has now been reopened. No one was hurt in the fire. In Miami, Oklahoma, authorities search for the cause of a house fire that has now taken the life of a Northeast Oklahoma man days later. The fire happened around 8 p.m. on Friday at 320 B Street Southwest. Fire crews noticed heavy smoke and fire from the bedroom window where they brought out a 56-year-old man. He has died from his injuries on Monday. And in Kansas, Pittsburgh officials released information on Tuesday about last week's house fire on 4th Street. The fire has happened on Friday shortly after 6 a.m. Authorities reported flames rising from the roof of the 2-story house. The fire appeared to be in the attic. The fire was under control within about a half hour. No one was hurt. There is no word yet on the cause of the fire. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. We'll be right back. A family just north of the Twin Cities in Minnesota is making a special milestone. It was several months ago, a mother pregnant with twins delivered her baby 10 weeks early with some unexpected help. And on Monday, she reunited with the men who made it all happen. Derek James has more.
Why, hello, we meet again. Come on in.
The last time Megan Swanberg welcomed this Alina EMS crew into her home, she was 30 weeks pregnant with twins and going through contractions.
You know, I'm probably a little more nicer this time around.
Her husband Reed was far away at the time, so Megan made a plan.
I'm just gonna drive myself to the hospital. My mom's like, no, you're not.
Megan is admittedly stubborn.
She ended up pulling up right behind my car, so I couldn't leave.
So they made a call for an ambulance to take Megan from their home here in Isanti to Coon Rapids and Mercy Hospital. The hope that they'd get there before the babies would come, but Harper and Harlan had other ideas.
When we got here, she was running all around the house. In fact, she pretty much ran to our stretcher out at the ambulance.
Megan had a question for EMS workers Scott Olson and Shelby Frost as soon as the ambulance doors closed.
Have you guys delivered a baby? And
no, I don't think I gave you a straightforward answer.
They hadn't delivered a baby, let alone two, and the girls were not wasting any time.
It was about 5 minutes after we got her ready for the birth that the first one came out.
That was Harper. 15 minutes later, Harlan was born just as the ambulance was about to get to Mercy. In the almost 3 months since they made the special deliveries, Olson and Frost have thought about the girls often.
Through a mutual friend, I got some pictures and things like that all along, but it was neat to meet them. I was hoping I'd get to.
I've always enjoyed little babies for sure.
Harper and Harlan are both happy and healthy babies, but they don't let mom and dad sleep too much. The Swanbergs are excited about sharing their unique birth story with the girls and keeping their connections to the EMS workers. We'll be right back with the story of a unique onslaught and another check of your weather after this. Columbia confirmed the first case of an albino onslaught, which was There is information after carrying out genetic tests on a feline with white fur and red eyes that remains under protection in the northwest of the country. The onslaught was found as a cub and weighed under 1 pound. The feline was suffering from multiple ailments and has undergone lots of treatment over the past year. The onslaught is also blind and incapable of camouflaging, so she was unfit to live in her natural habitat. Park authorities now consider the animal to be a healthy adult weighing 28 pounds. The onslaught is a diet of 1.5 pounds of red meat and chicken, and she lives in an adapted enclosure with small ponds to protect her from drowning. Almost $500,000, the Smithsonian Magazine reports, a prop used in The Wizard of Oz recently sold for $495,000 at an auction. It was one ornate glass in the scene where the Wicked Witch of the West tells Dorothy she only has a short time to live. The auction house has oversaw the sale and called it, quote, the most recognizable signature prop from the film. It stands about 20 inches tall and about a foot wide, and it has a Gothic frame with gargoyles perched on the 3 columns. There's no word on who bought it.
We have got a pretty decent day lined up for us, although there's a wind advisory for wind gusts from 40 to 50 to 60 miles an hour. A high of 57 today, though. We'll have clouds increasing as the day goes on, dropping back down early to a low of 50, and then temperatures like last night will rise through the overnight hours under mostly cloudy skies. Mild weather holds on up to 61 tomorrow, 53 Friday, 55 Saturday, maybe some showers, 63 on New Year's Day, 62 Monday, maybe some storms, and then 51 by next Tuesday. We're back with more right after this.
Right now at 6, authorities in Jasper County need your help in discovering information about a hit-and-run incident involving a 10-year-old boy.
Plus, we've got a wind advisory for us today. The wind's shaking our cameras in Joplin. We'll talk how windy it's going to get and how warm it's going to get coming up.
Also, authorities battle a slew of blazes in the 4 states area, including one just yesterday in East Moreland neighborhood of Joplin.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. I'm Amber Jenkins.
I'm Chris Warner. Just after 6 o'clock on this windy Wednesday. Everyone knows it's windy.
Very windy. I almost blew away.
The association said it. Some of you folks out there know who the association is, and you know what Wendy's about, and you know that song. Just because I had cool parents and we listened to a lot of different music. I'm going to presume you do not know who the association is.
No, I don't.
All right, well, that's all right. We'll have to educate you on the finer points of the association later. However, they do know it is windy today, as we have a wind advisory that runs until midnight. You're going to see gusts 40 to 50 miles an hour, potentially higher across the area, even reaching maybe upwards of 60. So here's a nice graphical representation of said wind advisory running again until midnight tonight for all of us, as we're going to see those wind gusts really pick up. So as you see, as we head into the 7:30 part of this morning, winds start to pick up, and they're going to continue to do so as we head into the afternoon, potentially pushing as high as 60 miles an hour, and they do not let up as we head into tonight. Hence why the wind advisory continues through tonight. This is a trash can gone forever kind of day, so make sure it is locked down. In Joplin, 45. Feels like 36. South breeze at 26, gusting to 46 miles an hour already, and it's going to continue to increase. We got 39 Iola, 41 Chinook, Parsons, Chatopa, 43 Miami, 45 in Neosho, and 41 in Lamar. Modoc camera, 36 in range line, blowing a little bit in that breeze. Bob Dylan once said, I'm not going to go there because I'm not 100% certain. Anyway, yellow, am I correct? Ron's telling me I'm correct, that the answer is blowing in the wind. All right. Okay, good. I was right. See, I know a few things every so often. Yellow light for your morning drive and evening drive because of the wind, and even smaller vehicles could be impacted by some of those 50 to 60 mile an hour gusts. High of 57 today. Clouds will increase as we head into the afternoon. We're just having a nice throwback, music morning here. 50 for an early low tonight. Temperatures will rise as we head towards sunrise and will stay mostly cloudy. We hold on to mostly cloudy skies for a bit, but 61 tomorrow, 53 Friday. Maybe some showers on New Year's Eve day, but they should be gone before it's time to celebrate the new year. 55. First day of 2023 up to 63. and partly cloudy. And then take a look at Monday, 62, maybe some showers and thunderstorms, and up to 51 by next Tuesday with partly cloudy skies. So we're holding on to this mild stretch for a while. Enjoy it while it's here, because I want to remind you, we just got into the heart of winter here. We're just starting winter. We know we're not done with it. We know Mother Nature's not done with us, so enjoy this mild run while we've got it.
Thank you, Chris, for the forecast. Jasper County authorities turned to the public for information regarding a hit-and-run crash involving a child. It happened Monday morning on County Lane 197, a mile east of Carterville, Missouri. Investigators say a black car was driving north on the wrong side of the road and hit a 10-year-old boy from Joplin. The boy suffered minor injuries. Authorities want to hear from anyone who might have information. A Christmas Day car crash takes the life of a Joplin man and injures 5 people. The crash happened near Coyote and Apricot Road in Newton County. Authorities say the driver, Samuel Mitchell, hit a concrete culvert. Mitchell died at the hospital. 3 adults in the car suffered minor to serious injuries. 2 children suffered serious injuries. Authorities say no one was wearing seatbelts. A report from the Missouri State Highway Patrol shows the total number of crashes they worked on during the Christmas holiday went up compared to last year. The report looks at crashes from Friday evening to Monday morning or Monday night. This year, 3 people died in traffic crashes. The Highway Patrol worked a total of 306 crashes. That number is up compared to last year's 227 crashes. You can find the full breakdown of the report with the KOAM News Now app. It proved to be a busy week for the 4 state firefighters as they respond to multiple blazes. On Tuesday, fire crews battled an evening fire in the Eastmoreland neighborhood of Joplin. The fire began around 5 p.m. at 2604 East 11th Street, and authorities had to close down Florida Avenue from 14th to 8th Street. 11th Street has now since been reopened. No one was hurt in the fire. In Miami, Oklahoma, authorities search for the cause of a house fire that has now taken the life of a northeast Oklahoma man. Days later, the fire happened around 8 p.m. on Friday at 322 B Street Southwest. Fire crews noticed heavy smoke and fire from a bedroom window where they brought out a 56-year-old man. He died from his injuries on Monday. And in Kansas, on Tuesday, Pittsburgh officials released information about last week's house fire on 4th Street. That fire happened on Friday shortly after 6 a.m. Authorities reported flames rising from the roof of the 2-story house. The fire appeared to be in the attic. The fire was under control within about a half hour. No one was hurt. There was no word yet on the cause of the fire. And the fires are not done yet. Authorities tell Shannon Becker a vacant residence caught on fire just a few hours ago. Just after 12:15 a.m. this morning, Joplin Emergency 911 responded to reports of smoke from a resident at 1731 South Pennsylvania in Emerson neighborhood. Neighbors tell Joplin police the resident was vacant, and Joplin Fire declared the blaze out within 15 minutes. The Joplin Fire Marshal is investigating the cause. The U.S. Supreme Court is keeping a pandemic-based immigration policy in place, at least for now. Late Tuesday, the justices issued a 5-4 ruling deciding the U.S. can continue expelling immigrants at the southern border under Title 42, rule designed to stop the spread of COVID-19. More than a dozen Republican-led states pushed to keep the rule in place as the border towns have become overwhelmed with the increase of people seeking asylum in the U.S. The Biden administration had been pushing to wind down the policy. Jared Hill explains what happens now.
For people like Norki Hamad, a Venezuelan migrant hoping to take asylum in the U.S., news that the Supreme Court says Title 42 must stay in place is disappointing. She says they've lost some hope, but faith is always placed in God. In a 5-4 decision, the justices decided the pandemic-era policy can stay for now while they wait to hear arguments in February.
In the meantime, we have to enforce it, but I think it's overdue.
Title 42 allows the U.S. to expel migrants coming across the southern border based on public health concerns. Trump-appointed Justice Neil Gorsuch sided with the liberal justices, writing in his dissent, quote, "The current border crisis is not a COVID crisis," and said elected officials have failed to address immigration. 19 Republican-led states argued that lifting the policy would lead to a surge in border crossings, overwhelming already overburdened communities. Just the suggestion that Title 42 would end has led to an increase in activity in border towns like El Paso, Texas.
We're continuing to see a large number of migrants with or without Title 42. Okay, our shelters right now are still operating over capacity.
Since the policy has been in place, more than 2 million asylum seekers have been denied entry into the U.S. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
A Supreme Court decision is expected sometime later in 2023, and Title 42 will remain in place until then. The Biden administration does have some ability to limit how strictly it reinforces the policy. That's a look at today's morning's top stories and weather in your first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. The heat is on for a newly elected congressman amidst to embellishing his resume. We have the latest, including how his own party is weighing in. Plus, a new analysis shows for people getting their health care coverage through their job, the cost may be going up. And Chris has more on the 4 states thawing out. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch this morning, the newly elected congressman caught lying about his background is talking publicly for the first time. In a pair of interviews with conservative news outlets in New York, Representative-elect George Santos defended his record, but admitted he has misstated his true biography. Most of the lies were revealed in an investigation by the New York Times earlier this month. Caitlin Huey-Burns has more.
A confession from the Republican congressman-elect.
If I disappointed anyone by resume embellishments, I'm sorry.
Speaking out directly for the first time about allegations he fabricated his resume and life story, George Santos acknowledged to a New York radio host that he told a string of lies about his education and employment history.
And I'm not going to make excuses for this, but a lot of people overstate in their resumes or twist a little bit or ingratiate themselves.
In another interview with the New York Post, Santos admitted he did not have degrees from Baruch College and NYU, as he had claimed. Santos also addressed scrutiny around his claims of Jewish heritage. On his campaign website, in a section now removed, he recalled his grandparents fleeing Jewish persecution during World War II. I am Catholic, he told the Post, because I learned my maternal family had a Jewish background. I said I was Jew-ish. But questions about his finances remain, including $700,000 he reported to have loaned his campaign, a claim that went unchecked in the radio interview Monday.
The $700,000 you put into the election, was that your money?
That is the money that I paid myself through my company, the Volder Organization.
Despite the admission, Santos said he won't be deterred from serving his full term in Congress and said he intends to deliver on the promises he made during the campaign. He is slated to be sworn into Congress next week. Caitlin Huey-Burns, CBS News, Washington.
In a statement, the Nassau County Republican Committee chairman said Santos' lies are profound and he has a lot to work to do to regain the public's trust. And in another statement, Santos' press secretary wrote, "This is an attack on not only George, but all of the working class Americans. Santos is wholeheartedly ready to claim his deceptive victory he earned in Congress and be the voice of New York's 3rd District." That's a look at one of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with the forecast.
Yeah, we have a wind advisory that goes into effect, actually went into effect about 14 minutes ago. Winds shaking our cameras in Joplin. We have an alert day for it. We're going to break down how windy it's going to get and the big warm up on the way when we come back. All right, it's going to be a very windy but very mild day for us. On the MODOK camera 36 and range line, it's zoomed in a bit, so the wind is shaking it a little bit more than our camera at 7th and range line, both of them moving in the breeze. We do have an alert day for today with that wind advisory now officially in effect with wind gusts 40, 50 miles an hour. They could potentially even reach 60 miles an hour. That wind advisory for virtually all of us through midnight tonight, and it's going to stay breezy. This is by about 7:30. You can see wind gusts continue to increase to that 40 to 50 mile an hour range. And as we head into the afternoon, we could see those gusts pushing 50 to 60 miles an hour in some cases. So just be aware of that, especially if you're traveling on east-west roadways. You're going to be very susceptible to this. Even your smaller cars could be susceptible to these winds, and they'll hold on through the overnight hours into tomorrow morning. So make sure also that your trash can is secure. Like I said earlier, unless you just don't like your trash can, you're ready for a new one, or you want to donate it to your neighbor, don't secure it. But if you need it, make sure it doesn't blow away. Right now in Joplin, we're looking good otherwise. We got clear skies, 45, feels like 36, south breeze at 26, now gusting upwards of 46 miles an hour. So very breezy out there, but again, about 20, 30 degrees warmer than where we were 24 hours ago. 41 Chinook, Parsons, Chetopa, 43 Miami, Grove, Anderson, 45 in Neosho, and 43 in Carthage. For your morning drive, we have a yellow light simply because of the wind. Otherwise, we're mostly clear in the 40s. And for your drive home, another yellow light, clouds increase in the 50s. But again, just those winds are going to be something else out there. Heading for a high of 57 degrees. 57. We'll also see clouds increase as we head into the afternoon and evening hours. We'll be mostly cloudy tonight, and like last night, hitting an early low of about 50, and then temperatures will begin to rise as we head towards sunrise. And then take a look at this 7-day forecast. Man, I tell you, it doesn't get any better than this, especially as we head into the new year. 61 tomorrow, 53 Friday. Could see some showers on New Year's Eve day, but they should be out of here before it's time to celebrate. 55. 63 for the first day of 2023, partly cloudy. 62 Monday, maybe some scattered storms, and then 51 by next Tuesday under partly cloudy skies. So remember though, we're still in winter, and winter may still have some surprises for us, but at least for the next several days, enjoy this while it's here. We got a lot more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, Chinese authorities are now paying older people to get vaccinated against COVID-19. The country is battling a surge of new infections since easing pandemic restrictions last month. China's National Health Commission says more than 90% of the population has been vaccinated, but only 2/3 of people over 80 have gotten their shots. Many of them are hesitant because of the fear of side effects. More children are ending up in the emergency rooms for mental health crisis. A study in JAMA Pediatrics tracked more than 200,000 children seen at hospitals from 2015 to 2020. It found emergency room visits for mental health increased by 8% annually. 13% of the patients revisit the hospital within 6 months. And the healthcare is becoming increasingly unaffordable for some people who get their insurance through their job. A new analysis says NYU found employer-sponsored health insurance is becoming less effective in paying for healthcare services. Women's care is especially impacted by the raising costs. 61% of Americans get their healthcare through work. Health experts are predicting COVID-19, the flu, and RSV will make a strong comeback at the end of this week, and the numbers will stay high into the first 2 weeks of January. All of it is due to the travel and holiday gatherings. Kristen Imbeliz has the latest on the triple-demic.
Just as cases of respiratory illness were starting to drop, health experts are issuing a warning.
I anticipate that we are going to have a post-holiday surge.
Dr. William Schaffner from Vanderbilt University is most concerned about the flu.
With all of the travel, all the joyous reunions over the holidays, there will be many opportunities for this virus, this influenza virus, to be transmitted and spread even further.
COVID-19 remains a concern, with around 300 Americans dying every day, and experts predict RSV, strep, and the common cold will infect an increased number of people in the new year. All these respiratory illnesses are driving up demand for children's medicines, and some pharmacy shelves are now empty.
There's nothing on the shelves. It's just so ridiculous how difficult it's been just to get children's Tylenol. If you see some Tylenol or ibuprofen, you better grab it.
To combat part of the problem, the government released reserves of Tamiflu, and to prevent stockpiling, CVS, Target, and Walgreens are now limiting purchases of over-the-counter children's medicine. Health experts say in a pinch, adult medication can sometimes be adapted for pediatric use.
For the kids that are able to swallow pills and the dose works out properly, sure. Usually once kids get over 110, 120 pounds, that's going to match up with an adult dose.
Health experts caution before offering an adult medication, parents should talk to their child's pediatrician to avoid exceeding the recommended dosage. Cristian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
Health experts say parents should also remember medications in short supply simply to make their child more comfortable. Not having medication will not lead to any kind of medical complications. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we are watching the winds increase. Our tower cam at 7th and Rangeline, if you watch it closely, you'll see it start to rattle a bit as the wind gusts increase. MoDOT camera at 36 and Rangeline, since it's zoomed in a bit, you can see it shake a little bit more when those winds really start to gust. And that's why we have an alert day today for that wind advisory, now in effect through midnight. Gusts of 40, 50 miles an hour. We could see some gusts upwards of 60 miles an hour. And there it is for virtually every county in our area, again, through midnight tonight. All right. And this is why. Look at these winds. This is by 7:30. Gusts pushing up to 50, which, by the way, we're getting close to that already. By this afternoon, they could push upwards of 60, so make sure your trash can is secure so it is not gone forever. At 7th and Rangeline, we are 45. Feels like 36. South breeze at 26. This is what I'm talking about. Gusts up to 46 miles an hour already in Joplin. But a milder day and a milder start. 41 Chanute, Neodesha, Parsons, Pittsburgh, 42 Chetopa, 44 Miami, and 45 in Carthage as we start the day. For your commute, we do have a yellow light for your morning drive because of the wind. Otherwise, we're mostly clear in the 40s, and yellow light for your drive home. Same situation because of the wind. Otherwise, increasing clouds in the 50s. So how warm is it going to get, you ask? Well, I'll tell you, that warm. Is that warm enough? If not, I'll get to the 7-day. 57 for our high today. Increasing clouds and, of course, very gusty wind. Stays gusty tonight. Early low of 50, and then temperatures will begin to rise as we head towards sunrise. And if 57 is not enough for you, all right, fine. How about 61 tomorrow? We'll do that. I can do that. I think we all can do that. 53 Friday, maybe some showers. New Year's Eve day, 55. New Year's Day, 63, partly cloudy. 62 next Monday, maybe some showers and thunderstorms, and up to 51 by next Tuesday under partly cloudy skies. So a pretty good forecast for us over the next several days. We got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Right now at 6:30, authorities in Jasper County need your help in discovering information about a hit-and-run accident involving a 10-year-old boy.
Winds continue to increase today. Wind advisory, but warmer weather also. We'll take a look at all of that coming up.
Also, authorities battle a slew of blazes in the 4 states area, including one just yesterday in the Eastmoreland neighborhood of Joplin.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:29. I'm Amber Jenkins.
I'm Chris Warner. So a much nicer start for us today than what we saw yesterday temperature-wise. Unfortunately, wind-wise, it's getting pretty darn breezy out there, and that is why today is an alert day for us, as we have a wind advisory in effect now through midnight, because we'll see gusts pushing 40, 50 miles an hour, could even go upwards of 60 miles an hour. So here's what that wind advisory looks like on a map, and again, it runs through midnight tonight, so we're all going to be getting in on this. As we head through the morning, wind gusts continue to increase, pushing that 50 mile an hour range, and into the afternoon, they could even reach up to 60 miles an hour, and that could cause its own problems, maybe some small down limbs and potential power outages. So just be aware, even though it's a nice looking day outside, that wind is really going to be howling, and it will continue to do so today into tonight and tomorrow morning. Make sure your trash can is secure. Otherwise, it is going to be gone forever on a day like today. So you want to make sure you don't lose that trash can. In Joplin, it's 45 right now. Feels like 36. That south breeze at 26, gusting upwards of 46 now. So very windy out there. But again, we're also about 30 degrees warmer than where we were yesterday too. Even maybe close to 40 now. We're at 38 Iola, 41 in Neodesha, Chanute, Parsons, 42 Chetopa, 44 Miami, 41 Lamar, 39 in Nevada, Fort Scott. So a little bit cooler up to the north, but we're all getting on some warm action. MoDOT camera, 36 in Rangeline. Traffic picking up. We have a yellow light for your morning drive, especially if you're on east-west roadways, as this is a southerly breeze today. You're going to want to watch out. Otherwise, we're mostly clear in the 40s. Same situation for the drive home. Be careful with this wind. Otherwise, increasing clouds in the 50s. Heading for a high of 57 degrees today. So well above average, but quite nice. A lot of thawing going to happen today. Clouds increase through the afternoon. Be mostly cloudy tonight, dropping back down to a low of about 50 degrees early. Temperatures rise towards sunrise. We're up to 61 tomorrow, 53 on Friday. Stray shower or two possible on New Year's Eve day, but they should be clear before it's time to ring in the new year, 55. First day of 2023, 63 degrees, partly cloudy. Maybe some storms Monday, 62, and partly cloudy skies on Tuesday, the high of 51. So we got a mild stretch ahead of us, and we've got to enjoy it while it's here because you never know what winter's going to throw at us, and it may get really cold again. So enjoy it while it lasts.
Thank you, Chris. Jasper County authorities turned to the public for information regarding a hit-and-run crash involving a child. It happened Monday morning on County Lane 197, a mile east of Carterville, Missouri. Investigators say a black car was driving north on the wrong side of the road and hit a 10-year-old boy from Joplin. The boy suffered minor injuries. Authorities want to hear from anyone who might have information. Christmas Day car crash takes the life of a Joplin man and injures 5 people. The crash happened near Coyote and Apricot Road in Newton County. Authorities say the driver, Samuel Mitchell, hit a concrete culvert. Mitchell died at the hospital. 3 adults in the car suffered minor to serious injuries. 2 children suffered serious injuries. Authorities say no one was wearing seatbelts. A report from the Missouri State Highway Patrol shows the total numbers of crashes they worked during the Christmas holiday went up compared to last year. The report looks at crashes from Friday evening to Monday night. This year, 3 people died in traffic crashes. The Highway Patrol worked a total of 306 crashes. That number is up compared to last year's 222 crashes. You can find the full breakdown of the report on the KOAM News Now app. It provided to be a busy week for Forest State's firefighters as they respond to multiple blazes. On Tuesday, fire crews battled an evening fire in the Eastmoreland neighborhood of Joplin. The fire began around 5 p.m. at 2604 East 11th Street, and authorities had to close down Florida Avenue from 14th to 8th Street. 11th Street has since been reopened. No one was hurt in the fire. In Miami, Oklahoma, authorities search for the cause of the house fire that has now taken the life of a northeast Oklahoma man days later. The fire happened around 8 p.m. on Friday at 322 B Street Southwest. Fire crews noticed heavy smoke from the bedroom window where they brought out a 56-year-old man. He died from his injuries on Monday. And in Kansas on Tuesday, Pittsburgh officials released information about last week's house fire on Forest Street. The fire happened on Friday shortly after 6 a.m. Authorities reported flames rising from the roof of the 2-story house. The fire appeared to be in the attic. The fire was under control within about a half hour. No one was hurt. There is no word yet on the cause of the fire. Drivers in Knoll, Missouri can expect lane reductions and traffic delays beginning next Tuesday. Crews will begin work to stabilize the stream bank and make sidewalk improvements along Elk River on Route 59 between the Elk River Bridge and Butler Creek Bridge. Only one lane, Route 59, will be open at all times. There will be no sign for detours, but to find a full list of traffic impacts ahead, on over to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. KOAM is always looking to hear from aspiring journalists, so we are continuing a program where we air stories shot, written, and edited by local students. This story comes from Joplin High School. Joplin students are getting a business lesson and a shot of espresso all in one. Joplin Eagles television student reporter Andrew Myers takes us to the coffee shop within the walls of Joplin High.
Every day, students line up to get drinks, not just from Starbucks or 7 Brew, but a coffee shop tucked into Eagle Alley at Joplin High School. This coffee shop, known as JoJo's, is operated by students for the students. Marley Black works at JoJo's, and she says this shop is great.
I mean, it gives everyone like a cheap option of beverages, and it ranges from coffees to teas and lemonades, so I think it's a nice little extra thing.
And she says the shop has taught her some lessons she couldn't learn from a book.
It's definitely taught me how to like deal with people and work with money and yeah, stuff like that.
The coffee shop program is part of the business classes. Lindsay DeWelt is the teacher in charge of it. and she says it's a great opportunity that not many schools have.
The coffee shop gives students real life experiences, so they learn how to run their own business, they learn customer service skills, they learn marketing skills like how to set promotions that students will actually want to buy, and it's just a good experience for life.
So, if you're ever sleep deprived and need a quick hit of caffeine, JoJo's is your place to go. Reporting for JHD, I'm Andrew Myers.
Again, thanks to Joplin High School student Andrew Myers for that report. The approach of the new year means people are making New Year's resolutions. One of the most common resolutions is getting healthy. While getting a gym membership or starting a diet, many people want to start fresh for the new year, but very few people actually keep their New Year's resolutions. According to INC.com, among the 41% of Americans who make New Year's resolutions, only 9% are successful in keeping them.
That brings us to our question for you this morning. What is your New Year's resolution? We gave you quite a few options. So far, people voting in nearly every option. 22% of you say other, 34% of you say you're going to spend time with family, 11% of you for traveling, losing weight, finishing your education, or paying off debts. Well, make sure you vote through our website, through the app, and take part in discussion on our Facebook page. And as we mentioned, keeping the resolution is the other half of this story here.
That's the battle. That's a look at our top stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. The clock is ticking for a full-blown government ban of the social media app TikTok over fears of Chinese espionage.
And we have got some windy conditions out there. We have an alert day today. We'll talk about that and warmer weather on the way when we come back.
In Consumer Watch this morning, everyone who works in the House of Representatives was warned Tuesday to delete the video sharing app TikTok from their official devices. The move comes ahead of a law that will ban the app from all U.S. government devices. Several states, cities, and universities recently cracked down on TikTok over fears that the user's data could fall into the hands of the Chinese government. Southwest Airlines has already canceled more than 2,000 flights today, according to FlightAware, with more cancellations expected. The company issued an apology to thousands of affected travelers and announced it will reduce flights as it tries to get the systems back on track next week. President Biden tweeted Tuesday that his administration is, quote, working to ensure airlines are held accountable. Jared Hill has more.
Post-Christmas chaos at the nation's airports after Southwest Airlines canceled more than 60% of its flights for the second day in a row, stranding thousands of frustrated flyers.
It's just unacceptable. Everybody knows that during the holidays there's going to be some delays, but just outright cancellations is just not okay.
With more cancellations today, some travelers looked for other ways to reach their destinations.
We tried to get a train and the train was booked, and then we tried to get a Greyhound bus and that was booked. So we've got a rental car.
In a statement, Southwest offered, quote, heartfelt apologies and said, we were fully staffed and prepared for the approaching holiday weekend when the severe weather swept across the continent.
Our plan for the next few days is to fly a reduced schedule and reposition our people and planes, and we're making headway, and we're optimistic to be back on track before next week.
Southwest Airlines CEO Bob Jordan issued that video statement saying the company is processing refunds. He also said he's been in touch with the Transportation Secretary, Pete Buttigieg. The secretary told CBS News the situation is unacceptable.
Well, I want passengers to know that this department has their back, that we are going to be holding the airline accountable for the way that they are treating passengers.
The Senate Commerce Committee says it will probe the causes of the disruption and the impact on consumers. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
Two Senate Democrats have called on the airline to give affected travelers significant monetary compensation for the disruption to their holiday plans. That's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with the forecast.
Now, we've got a wind advisory for all the counties highlighted in brown, which is nearly our entire area, which runs through midnight tonight because we're going to see winds really picking up. Gusts as we head into this afternoon could be reaching that 50 to even 60 mile an hour range. So if you're traveling on east-west roads with this southerly breeze, be aware of that. Even a smaller car could be harder to control, and it will stay windy through this afternoon, this evening, tonight, and into tomorrow morning. Also, make sure your trash can is secure because it is a trash can gone forever kind of day. Right now in Joplin, excuse me, 45, feels like 36. South breeze at 26 with gusts upwards of 46 miles an hour out there. We got 39 Iola, Fort Scott, 40 Nevada, 41 Pittsburgh, Lamar, 45 in Carthage, and up to 46 in Miami. For your morning drive, we do have a yellow light simply because of the wind. Otherwise, we are mostly clear and in the 40s. And as we head through this evening, same situation, a yellow light for the wind, otherwise increasing clouds in the 50s. Heading for a high of 57 today with increasing cloud cover as the afternoon progresses, and will be mostly cloudy tonight. Again, like last night, an early low of 50, and then temperatures will begin to rise as we head towards sunrise. Tomorrow, we're up to 61, 53 by Friday. Few showers possible New Year's Eve day, but they should be gone before celebrations begin. 55, 63 New Year's Day and partly cloudy, maybe some storms next Monday, and 62, and then we're at 51 and partly cloudy by next Tuesday. So a pretty mild stretch ahead of us. Get out there and enjoy it. Well, it's Wednesday, so we've reached the hump. And that means it's time to celebrate, and what better way than by also celebrating some birthdays and anniversaries. That's next, but first, let's see what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Nate Burleson. Coming up on CBS Mornings, Steve Hartman joins us to talk about his kindness special, which introduces us to ordinary people doing extraordinary things that change lives. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Elizabeth Brown. Private First Class Brown served in the Army from 1943 to 1945. She served at the AAFB Wright Field in Dayton, Ohio. During her service, she earned the American Campaign Medal, World War II Victory Medal, and a Good Conduct Medal. A native to LaSharpe, Kansas, we thank you, today's four-state hero, Elizabeth Brown.
All right, time for those Wednesday birthdays, and we begin with the son of Sarah and John Hutton, Grayson Wayne, celebrating his first birthday today. Happy birthday, Grayson.
We got Emery Hittel celebrating her 7th birthday in Franklin, Kansas. Happy birthday, love Nana and Papa.
And we've got Allison Johnson in Bronson celebrating birthday number 13. Happy birthday, Allison.
Maffrey Rodenor is celebrating his 24th birthday in Pittsburgh, Kansas. Love, Dad, and Charity.
And Sally Davis celebrating birthday number 44 with best wishes from Davis Real Estate. Happy birthday, Sally.
And Keegan Dawkins is celebrating in Pittsburgh, Kansas today.
We've also got Kent and Mona Brumbaugh celebrating their 9th anniversary in Pittsburgh. Happy anniversary to the both of you. We also continue our list with Wavell Yeager celebrating birthday number 83 in Columbus, and Nicole Graham celebrating birthday number 20 yesterday in Erie. A happy birthday and anniversary to all of you on the list. And we want this list, as we say every morning, to continue to grow and grow and grow and grow. And Amber's going to tell you how you can help us make that happen.
You can submit the birthdays to birthdays with an S at KOAMTV.com or birthdays, again with an S, at KOAMNewsNow.com.
And when you check out our website for the latest news, weather, sports, and everything else it has to offer, because by the way, if you haven't seen it lately, it's really cool, got a lot of cool things on it. It also has the link to sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club. You can get some special deals from local businesses. You also get a great happy birthday message from your friends here at KOAM. Just go to KOAMNewsNow.com. Sign up for the Birthday Club today. All right, coming up, when the KOAM Morning News switches over to Fox 14, we're going to meet a group of friends who rolled out their snowmobiles to help rescue survivors of the historic winter storm that slammed Buffalo, New York. That's coming up on Fox 14. But first, we got to check your forecast, so how about that? So we've been watching the wind shake our camera here at 7th and Range Line. It's also been shaking the MoDOT camera at 36th and Range Line as traffic continues to pick up this morning. People heading to work and getting things taken care of. We do have an alert day today for a wind advisory in effect now through midnight. Gusts to 40 to 50 miles an hour. Could even see some upwards of 60 miles an hour. The wind advisory is outlined here in the brown color and again runs through midnight tonight for just about all of us. And as we head into this afternoon, that's when we could see these gusts pushing that 50 to 60 mile an hour range. And this is a south breeze. So if you're traveling on east-west roadways, you need to be careful. We're talking 54, 166, 400, I-44, US 60. You've got to hold on to the wheel, even in a smaller vehicle, because these kinds of winds could knock anything around. That could also lead to some down small tree limbs, possible power outages. So just be aware of that today. And it'll stay windy through this afternoon, tonight, and into tomorrow morning. So also make sure your trash can is secure. Otherwise, it will be gone forever. Right now in Joplin, we're 45 degrees, feels like 36 thanks to that south breeze at 26, and those gusts upwards now of 46 miles an hour out there, so very breezy, but much milder as well. 39, Iola, Yates Center, Fort Scott, 40, Nevada, 41, Lamar, 45, Carthage, 42, Chautauqua, and 46 in Miami. As you start your morning drive, we do have a yellow light out there simply because of the wind. We're otherwise mostly clear in the 40s, so not bad otherwise. Just watch out for that wind. Same for the drive home. Yellow light for the wind, otherwise increasing clouds in the 50s. We are heading today for a high of 57 degrees, and we'll see clouds increase. We're going to start our day mostly clear, and then clouds will increase as we head into the afternoon and evening hours, leaving us with mostly cloudy skies as we head into tonight. An early low of 50, but that south breeze continues to usher in warm air. Temperatures turn around, start warming up towards sunrise. We're up to 55 by 6 a.m. And we're going to make it to 61 tomorrow under mostly cloudy skies. Same deal on Friday, 53 for the high. Maybe some showers possible on Saturday for New Year's Eve day, but the good news is they should be clear before it's time to ring in the new year. Otherwise, a high of 55. New Year's Day 2023, we're ringing it in on a high note here as we're 63 degrees and partly cloudy. Maybe some storms on Monday, 62, 51 next Tuesday and partly cloudy. And these temperatures here, they're cooler. All right, I'll admit they're cooler. They're closer to normal though, but they're still mild compared to what we've seen. And you can see heading into the end of next week, we hold on to mild temperatures. So a great opportunity to get out and enjoy this weather and a great opportunity for the 4 states to finally thaw out. We're back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Jasper County authorities are looking for information on a hit-and-run crash involving a child. It happened Monday morning on County Lane 197, a mile east of Carterville, Missouri. Investigators say a black car was driving north on the wrong side of the road and hit a 10-year-old boy from Joplin. The boy suffered minor injuries. Authorities want to hear from anyone who might have information. Authorities responded to house fires in multiple areas of the 4 states in the past week. On Tuesday, fire crews battled an evening fire in the Westmoreland neighborhood of Joplin. The fire began around 5 p.m. at 2604 East 11th Street, and authorities had to close down Florida Avenue from 14th to 8th Street. 11th Street has now been reopened. No one was hurt in the fire. In Miami, Oklahoma, authorities searched for the cause of a house fire that has now taken the life of a northeast Oklahoma man days later. The fire happened around 8 p.m. on Friday at 322 B Street Southwest. Fire crews noticed heavy smoke and fire from the bedroom window where they brought out a 56-year-old man. The man has died from his injuries on Monday. And in Kansas, Pittsburgh officials released information on Tuesday about last week's house fire on Forest Street. The fire happened on Friday shortly after 6 a.m. Authorities reported flames rising from the roof of the 2-story house. The fire appeared to be in the attic. The fire was under control within about a half hour. No one was hurt. There's no word yet on the cause of the fire. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
We have a wind advisory in effect for us today, so an alert day goes with that. That runs through midnight tonight. Winds gusting 40, 50, potentially 60 miles an hour. Otherwise, we're very mild. 57 for a high. We'll have increasing clouds as the day goes on. As we head into tonight, it stays breezy. Early low of 50, and then temperatures will begin to rise as we head towards sunrise tomorrow. And then take a look at the 7-day forecast. Looking pretty good. 61 tomorrow, 53 on Friday. 55 New Year's Eve day, maybe some early showers, and they'll be out of here in time to celebrate. 63 New Year's Day, maybe some storms on Monday. 62 and 51 by next Tuesday, and partly cloudy.
Coming up today at noon, we're making Good Luck pork and cabbage in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Is a planet millions of miles away responsible for happenings on Earth? Well, ahead on CBS Mornings, we're going to learn from an astrophysicist what Mercury retrograde really means.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continue. This morning, we got another Wildcat Wednesday interview, and it's all about getting your 2023 off to a healthy start.
Plus, we've got all the details on the welcome warm-up headed to the 4 states. That's going to wrap it up for us for now. We're going to see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.